As if for some reason you thought that Dragon was gonna make a move before Emu, apparently Oda thinks you're insane because he just showcased so much of Emu's powers before Dragon that I feel like anything Dragon does right now is gonna be such a letdown. Unless he's freaking magnificent, you know? So, as everybody in the world knows, today has been the release of Destined Rivals from Pokemon. And that has been an insane challenge to obtain. And I got lucky with that one, Impossible Lines. But I just wanted to say I'm so excited to have that and open up any packs I'm getting. But yeah, let's jump into the chapter. And we see so much display of power from Emu, so much theories are just jamming in. There is a chapter where the Tonkata are talking about the Void Century 900 years ago, and in the Void Century, in the darkest times, they said, in those chapters, the celestial dragons, they had us like slaves, but they were devils. And when we read it, it's like, oh, they're evil people. No, they were probably literal devils. They're literally devils. They're demons. It's insane how you can go back and it just read this stuff differently now. And I'm so excited. Let's go through the chapter, guys. Chapter 1150, called Domi Reversi. At least I think that's how it's pronounced, right? Yamato's pilgrimage ends, so we don't know if we continue the story with Yamato here. But we do start with a Conqueror's, just Emu's like, there's so much noise, and blasts a Conqueror's Haki across the area. Thankfully, all the Straw Hats still stay awake. You know, Yonko crew, everybody there is pretty strong, but maybe Nami would be knocked out, but she's awake. Everybody in the Straw Hats crew is awake. I think everybody in the Straw Hats can resist Conqueror's Haki, but to Emu's level, I'm gonna I'm gonna say I'm a little surprised, because that's like Joy Boy level. For now, let's say it's almost Joy Boy level, right, of Haki. And knocks everybody out. Even warrior pirates, giant warrior pirates are knocked out. And it's awesome. And I knew this chapter was going to be so hype when I saw Jarul. And he just locked in. My man's, I've never seen him serious. And I knew, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see. He's so old, but I want to see what this man can do. What Jarul can do. He's so big. We're gonna go into who's gonna be fighting him in this in a little bit in the chapter. And we have a display of Emu. And now, I was referencing in my previous videos the arrows kind of look like Emu, like when it like slithers when Sabo was in Emu's presence and was attacked by this tail thing, like the tail, we said the devil's tail or some tail thing. It looked like Gunko's powers, and now it looks like Gunko's powers are just in place, right? They just looks like it falls in line with Emu. It's really, I don't know if, it's weird. It's really weird. It just may be a pure coincidence. But anyway, we get a full panel of devil wings, a trident, and a tail. Devil tail on Gunko's body, with long hair and everything that just follows. Everybody is freaking out, and Killing Them is talking to Emu. Somers is talking to Emu. They're able to talk to them just respectfully, obviously, very respectfully. Killing Them is saying, "I can awaken more soldiers. I can do more. I can do it. I can show more forces." And Somers is getting up, saying everything hurts because of Gabon. But he always escort the hostages, the kids, and they're saying we need kings because there's no king ruler right now, which sounds absurd. So Emu starts possessing people. First of all, what, like, there's so much stuff here going on at the same time, because Emu, it starts getting attacked. Let's say, right, it starts getting attacked by Dorian. Well, not Dorian Brogan, by Dory, right? Brogy. He starts getting attacked by Brogy, and Emu's powers are throwing me off. Somebody's probably gonna come up with a way better video saying what this power is, what type of lore this is, what ability. Maybe it's just a, you know what? It could be just Oda made God ability, Oda made ability, right? Just not even able to be speculated, like Nika, basically. This version, the opposite. Basically, I'm thinking this is actually the opposite of Nika because of all these abilities, except one thing that I do want to get into maybe at the end that Luffy can potentially do as we see an opposite, as we see a display of Emu's powers. So, Emu summons a book. And I just got Black Clover vibes because, like, they summon a book, there's devils, it just immediately reminded me of that, and then starts chanting a spell, starts saying you're gonna be the king of Elbaph, you're gonna defeat Jaru and proclaim yourself as king. It's like, what, you guys as king, Dorian Brogy. and Emu takes out a knife, stabs. I don't know if it's all part of the ritual, because then you see the bubble, it creates and manifests a gun. It looks like a shotgun and a knife. I don't know if you need to stab the person as part of the ritual and shoot them with the gun, which it looks like you need to. Well, you do need to, at least the gun part. But the stab, I don't know if you need to. And completely destroys his quote unquote strong arm, strong left, right? And he just starts falling into a pool of some black goo, as far as we can tell. And then Emu uses a ability called Dami Reversi, and they flip invertedly as they're falling through. The dark self comes out. Okay, so you were telling me that Emu can make minions out of higher than Vice Admiral level people, very strong people. Before I forget, I really want to throw this idea out. Can Luffy do this by liberating people in some sense? Because this feels like a version of something he can do. Bonnie was able to turn into a Gear 5 version of herself, but that's her abilities. Can Luffy somehow negate this and turn them into a free form of themselves? Because this ability by Emu takes away their logic, their will, and all that. That goes completely against everything for Luffy, right? And in Gear 5, in his freedom and his liberty. As I'm reading it. Yeah, they shall go confront Jarul. I'm just thinking, what else was in this? Yeah, there's no logic to them. So shoots them off. The power of evil. It's like, why your ability is granted the power of evil? That just throws me off. Like, you couldn't have made it more obvious. Like, could have just made it something that didn't end in evil. Maybe I think the translation hopefully says something differently, because that throws me off. Like, you're the bad guy. What? Like, how do you defend that as a celestial dragon? Under Mu's dominion, you are bound by neither logic nor reason, so you don't question anything. You lose your will, basically. So it goes against everything that is liberating by Nika. Freedom, right? They fall into the pool and they come out as like this demonic form of themselves. Everybody says they say they turned into a demon. And Dory and Brogy both turn into it, even though one wasn't directly shot. And when you see Dory or Brogy, god darn it, I can't remember their names right now off the top of my head. The left arm that was shot is spaced out. So there's nothing holding that. It's like a floating hand in the middle. It's really odd. Really odd. But my guys, they're huge. They got buffed off this ability. They're humongous. I'm saying they're definitely stronger than they were before. They're huge. And the horns look like they're demonic horns. Like they're actually part of the ancient race now, which is Really odd. Because now, does the horns play a role in maybe something? That it, that big straw hat man in Marijoa, it's gotta be from a giant that was Joy Boy, right? That's why they idolize Joy Boy, right? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with the chapter. So they both turned, and Emu saying, "You're gonna go face Jarul and say you're the kings." And it feels like such a short chapter, but it's not. Like, we have so many panels of things going on, and it's not a short chapter at all, man. But yeah, the last page spread is all of them heading towards Jarul, and they're saying to Jarul, "You need to run. You need to get away. The captains aren't acting like themselves." And he says, "You don't tell a warrior to run. Running is not something you tell a warrior." Oh, my mans. I love this version of Jarul. My man locked in, got serious, and I think he's picking up a weapon, man. I know he's ready to fight. He is gonna defend Elbaph to the end. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what he does, man. I love this for Jarul. I am power scaling my man's high. All right? Maybe not Dory Brogy, but he's able to defeat one of them at least. Maybe not defeat, because as Emu's turning them into a demon, he says, or she says, we don't know what Emu is. We're still gonna go with Emu being a female right now. She says, "For your fleeting life, I give you immortality." So I feel like they're still able to age, but now they won't die. Which, of course, they will be immortal, they won't die, but they won't age. Maybe if anybody knows how to harm a holy knight or an immortal body, it'll be my man's Ja Rule. He's gotta know how to do this. He locked in and he knows, I feel, exactly what's going on. Not exactly, but a very good idea of what's going on. Oh man, I'm ready. He's fighting. And I see Killingham's face. And his face is always a face of mourning, like he's sad about something. Something's not right. I don't know. Something's off about Killingham. And there's always a panel of Killingham and his face looks like it's sad. So I don't know. I want to see a little turnaround for Celestial Dragons and get some good out of these people, out of Celestial Dragons. Maybe the Holy Knights questioning, something's going on, something's wrong. This person just said, "I grant to you the power of evil." You're not going to question that? Like, no one's looking around like, are we the bad guys? Maybe not Somers. Somers is like, "Hey, I'm all for it. I'm winning. We're winning. As long as we're winning, I don't care." That's Somers. I could tell his personality, but killing them is just like, something's wrong here. But I'm excited for the next chapter. One thing that did pique my interest, once I saw Emu's abilities and stuff and healing, immortal aspect, what if Emu gets a hold of Loki's body, or Loki as a minion? Now things get interesting, because maybe Emu needs to leave, and as a last resort, even though Loki's in a weakened state, whatever, later on chapters, like maybe not now, but Loki could be turned into a demon, and Loki would be bigger, stronger, immortal, fully recovered. But Loki has a really strong will, and to defeat it, Luffy will have to dispel the abilities of Emu, which will unlock whatever Joy Boy used to send the Holy Knights, the Gorosei, flying away. This will push Luffy to learn a very essential ability that will need to be trained to defeat Emu's army and Emu themselves. Has to be. But that's just a crazy, crazy, dart in the darkness right there, because we don't know if Loki's gonna play a role yet. But this will bring us for Luffy to face off against Emu. So that's exciting right now. Like, I did not think we were gonna see Emu's ability showcase so early before the final fight. And man, there's so many things. Like, what if Big Mom shows up? Because Big Mom would be, I don't know. I don't know why I thought Big Mom would show up for some reason, but Big Mom, maybe not Kaido because if something happened, but Big Mom would be, because we're trying to tie in Big Mom and Elbaph, right? And Big Mom was in God's Valley. Big Mom would know some form of Holy Knights to fight against. They would know something about the Holy Knights and maybe even Emu to this extent. And to do something, say something to, I don't know, in retrospect of all of this. Maybe not, probably not. That one's even worse. That one's even further shot in the dark from further away to a dartboard to have Big Mom show up. But I feel like Big Mom should show up. Since right now, all these the devil abilities, it's just so much time's passing. All right, so I think that's gonna be the end of the chapter review, guys. I just wanted to mention Blackbeard's darkness fruit, right? So like, what aspect is the darkness ability play into Emus? Like, they're super super weird. But I'm talking about way too many points. That is the chapter review, guys. Please, if you want me to talk about something else, reference something else, please let me know. Please leave me a like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll see you for the next one.